Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap but by the seeds that you plant. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Absences are a good influence in love and keep it bright and delicate. To be what we are, and to become what we are capable of becoming, is the only end of life. I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. Quiet minds cannot be perplexed or frightened but go on in fortune or misfortune at their own private pace, like a clock during a thunderstorm. The world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. You think dogs will not be in heaven? I tell you, they will be there long before any of us. Every heart that has beat strongly and cheerfully has left a hopeful impulse behind it in the. Keep your eyes open to your mercies. The man who forgets to be thankful has fallen asleep in life. The world is full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. I never weary of great churches. It is my favorite kind of mountain scenery. Mankind was never so happily inspired as when it made a cathedral. When I am grown to man's estate I shall be very proud and great. And tell the other girls and boys not to meddle with my toys. Well, Henry James is pretty good, though he is of the 19th century, and that glaringly. It is a golden maxim to cultivate the garden for the nose, and the eyes will take care of themselves. Sooner or later everyone sits down to a banquet of consequences. It is not so much for its beauty that the forest makes a claim upon men's hearts, as for that subtle something, that quality of air, that emanation from old trees, that so wonderfully changes and renews a weary spirit. There is a fellowship more quiet even than solitude, and which, rightly understood, is solitude made perfect. We are all travelers in the wilderness of this world, and the best we can find in our travels is an honest friend. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirits. You cannot run away from weakness, you must sometime fight it out or perish, and if that be so, why not now, and where you stand? The difficulty of literature is not to write, but to write what you mean, not to affect your reader, but to affect him precisely as you wish. Man is a creature who lives not upon bread alone, but primarily by catchwords. Talk is by far the most accessible of pleasures. It costs nothing in money, it is all profit, it completes our education, founds and fosters our friendships, and can be enjoyed at any age and in almost any state of health. If a man loves the labor of his trade, apart from any question of success or fame, the gods have called him. Politics is perhaps the only profession for which no preparation is thought necessary. There is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. By being happy we sow anonymous benefits upon the world. Perpetual devotion to what a man calls his business is only to be sustained by perpetual neglect of many other things. Give us grace and strength to forbear and to persevere. Give us courage and gaiety in the quiet mind, spare to us our friends, soften to us our enemies. I am in the habit of looking not so much to the nature of a gift as to the spirit in which it is offered. The habit of being happy enables one to be freed, or largely freed, from the domination of outward conditions. For my part, I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. For my part, I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. It is not likely that posterity will fall in love with us, but not impossible that it may respect or sympathize, so a man would rather leave behind him the portrait of his spirit than a portrait of his face. It is the mark of a good action that it appears inevitable in retrospect. So long as we love, we serve. So long as we are loved by others, I should say that we are almost indispensable, and no man is useless while he has a friend. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. Fiction is to the grown man what play is to the child. It is there that he changes the atmosphere and tenor of his life. We live in an ascending scale when we live happily, one thing leading to another in an endless series. When a torrent sweeps a man against a boulder, you must expect him to scream, and you need not be surprised if the scream is sometimes a theory. The body is a house of many windows. There we all sit, showing ourselves and crying on the passers-by to come and love us. Each has his own tree of ancestors.